Article 424.37 of the National Electrical Code addresses kitchen equipment, specifically pertaining to the installation of electric cooktops and their proximity to other appliances. This article permits a drop-in electric cooktop to share a base cabinet with a drop-in stainless steel sink, provided several critical conditions are satisfied. Firstly, a minimum distance of 1/2 inch or 12.7 mm must be maintained between the edge of the cooktop and the edge of the sink. This spatial separation is crucial for preventing heat transfer and potential electrical hazards associated with moisture exposure. Secondly, a cabinet housing both the cooktop and the sink must be constructed of materials approved for use with both appliances. This stipulation ensures the cabinet's structural integrity and fire resistance, considering the heat generated by the cooktop and the potential for water exposure from the sink. Approved materials typically include those that are non-combustible, heat-resistant, and water-resistant, such as certain types of treated wood or metal. Thirdly, the cooktop and sink must be properly grounded and installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Grounding is essential for electrical safety, providing a low-resistance path for fault currents to return to the source, thereby minimizing the risk of electric shock. Manufacturers' instructions provide detailed guidance on the proper installation techniques, wiring configurations, and safety precautions specific to each appliance model. Beyond the explicitly stated requirements in Article 424.37, several additional considerations are vital for ensuring a safe and functional installation. Firstly, adequate ventilation of the cabinet is paramount to prevent overheating of the appliances. Insufficient ventilation can lead to a buildup of heat, potentially damaging the cooktop, sink, or the cabinet itself. Proper ventilation can be achieved through the use of vents or openings in the cabinet, allowing for the free flow of air to dissipate heat. Secondly, the clearance between the cooktop and sink should be sufficient to allow for easy cleaning and maintenance. Adequate clearance enables access for wiping spills, removing debris, and performing necessary repairs or inspections. Restricted access can make cleaning difficult, potentially leading to unsanitary conditions or the accumulation of flammable materials. Thirdly, the sink should have a built-in overflow to prevent water from overflowing onto the cooktop. An overflow provides a means for excess water to drain away, preventing it from coming into contact with the electrical components of the cooktop. Water exposure can create a significant electrical hazard, potentially causing short circuits, equipment damage, or electric shock. Furthermore, it's crucial to adhere to all other applicable requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code, including those related to wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding. Proper wiring methods ensure the safe and reliable delivery of electrical power to the cooktop. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of electricity in the event of an overload or short circuit, preventing damage to the wiring and equipment. Effective grounding practices ensure a low impedance path for fault currents, minimizing the risk of electric shock. The National Electrical Code serves as the definitive standard for electrical safety in the United States, providing comprehensive guidelines for the safe installation and operation of electrical systems and equipment. Compliance with the National Electrical Code is essential for protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Article 424 addresses heating equipment and specifically covers permanently connected electric cooking and baking appliances, including ranges, counter-mounted cooking units, and ovens. Section 424.37 specifically focuses on the installation of kitchen equipment. The requirements outlined in 424.37 are designed to minimize the risk of fire, electric shock, and other hazards associated with the use of electric cooktops in close proximity to sinks. The 1/2 inch separation requirement is intended to prevent water from splashing onto the cooktop's electrical components. Water is a conductor of electricity, and even a small amount of moisture can create a path for current to flow, potentially causing a short circuit or electric shock. The requirement for approved materials for the cabinet construction is intended to ensure that the cabinet can withstand the heat generated by the cooktop and the moisture from the sink. Non-approved materials may be flammable or susceptible to water damage, increasing the risk of fire or structural failure. The requirement for proper grounding and installation according to the manufacturer's instructions is intended to ensure that the cooktop is properly connected to the electrical system and that it operates safely and efficiently. Improper grounding can create a shock hazard, while improper installation can lead to equipment malfunction or damage. In addition to the specific requirements outlined in 424.37, other sections of the National Electrical Code may also apply to the installation of electric cooktops and sinks. These sections may address issues such as wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding electrode systems. It is important to consult the National Electrical Code in its entirety to ensure that all applicable requirements are met. The authority having jurisdiction, often a local electrical inspector, has the final say in interpreting and enforcing the National Electrical Code. It is always a good idea to consult with the authority having jurisdiction before beginning any electrical work to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. The contractor's concern about finding code articles that specify what you can do is a common one. The National Electrical Code primarily focuses on specifying what you cannot do, aiming to prevent unsafe installations. However, by understanding the restrictions and requirements, one can infer what is permissible when those conditions are met. In the case of the cooktop and sink, if the 1/2 inch separation, approved materials, proper grounding, and manufacturer's instructions are followed, then the installation is generally permitted under the National Electrical Code. It's important to remember that the National Electrical Code is a minimum standard. In some cases, it may be necessary to exceed the National Electrical Code requirements to ensure a safe and reliable installation. For example, in a commercial kitchen, it may be necessary to provide additional ventilation or use more durable materials to withstand the demands of heavy use. The information presented here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before beginning any electrical work. In summary, when installing a drop-in electric cooktop and a drop-in stainless steel sink in the same base cabinet, adherence to National Electrical Code Article 424.37 is crucial. Maintain a minimum separation of 1/2 inch between the appliances. Use cabinet materials approved for both heat and moisture. Ensure proper grounding according to the manufacturer's instructions. Also provide adequate ventilation, sufficient clearance for maintenance, and a sink overflow. Remember to consult the entire National Electrical Code and local authorities for complete compliance.